Now, of course, our concept of sin, we see over in First John the actual definition of what sin is. So in First John chapter 3 and verse 4, it gives us a biblical definition of what sin is. So First John chapter 3 and verse 4 says, "Whoever commits sin also commits lawlessness, and sin is lawlessness." Now, lawlessness is a term that is describing going against the standards for that which God has for you. It's not a term, by the way, that's specifically restricted to the Mosaic law. Now, of course, if you were breaking the Mosaic law, you would be acting in a lawless manner. For us in the church, we are not under the Mosaic law, yet we still have a standard, and our standard involves grace, being mature ones. So when we're doing things that are wrong, we are actually breaking God's standards for us. So that's actually what sin is. And it's, of course, in here, it's important to understand a few of the details. Number one, your word commit means to do. That's important to understand because sin is always exterior to the body. Sin is the action, the activity part of what's going on. What goes on in the mind is a trespass. So a trespass happens within the mind when we determine to do something that is, again, we know full well it's against God's expectation of us. So we are going to, whether, it could simply be we're going to lie. We know we're not supposed to lie, but the opportunity has come up, and due to fear or whatever, we have made a decision that we're going to lie. We have to make that decision before we act. Now, that decision itself is not sin because sin is the action. This is a trespass, and this happens within the mind. James kind of talks about this. Well, not kind of. He actually describes the process that a sin goes through within our minds and ultimately works its way out so that we can understand this. And of course, this is important for us to understand because when we get into Romans chapter 5, we're going to see that both of these things, trespass and sin, had different impacts on us and still continue to have a different impact on us.